Welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. Our mission is to share what we have learned from our experience and the experience of others to help you make more money investing like a pro. We want to teach you how to create wealth by investing in real estate the Discount Property Investor way. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. Thanks for tuning in.
All right, guys, welcome back to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. I am your host, David Dodge. My co-host, Mike Slane, is in the field buying us rental properties today. But do not worry, I got an awesome guest on the show. Somebody that I've been following for quite some time. She's in the circles that I'm in, but we've never had the opportunity to meet. So I'm excited and I'm grateful to bring Lauren Hardy on the show from This Mom Flips. Lauren, how are you?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for coming on the show. You are new to the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, which is awesome, but you are not new to real estate investing, which is even more awesome. One thing I like about what I've been seeing from following you online and all that type of good stuff is that you are virtual. You do wholesaling and real estate investing in virtual. And I love This Mom Flips. I think it's such a great catchy name because there's a lot of women and moms out there that want to invest or may be interested, and you prove to those people that it's possible and that they can do it too. And I think that that message is also just amazing. So Lauren, again, thank you for coming on the show. It's great to meet you. What's up? How are you today?
I'm doing good. Today we're doing a quarantine edition of this podcast with me at home, and my children hopefully are not going to bombard us, but if they do, it might make it more interesting. But this is real life right now.
This is real life. That's right, guys. So today's April 29th. May or may not matter when you listen. This episode will probably go live in about 2 weeks. But as of today, you know, we are like, 6 or 7 weeks into this whole COVID-19 thing. So we are in it. This is quarantine central here. You know, hopefully I'm getting, maybe it's different for you, Lauren, but I'm getting news that restaurants and establishments are going to start opening up mid-May here. Is it different there?
Hopefully we're not really getting any dates or anything like that. It's more of they are going to start unraveling in like a 4-phase plan. That's what the governor was saying just yesterday.
And you're in Southern California. Sorry, guys.
I
have to drop that.
Yeah. So, but they haven't exactly said when. So I'm very excited. Mostly I'm very excited for daycares and summer camps and school to be open.
Yes, I'm sure most people that have children are.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. So Lauren, tell me a little bit, because I honestly don't know. So this is going to be really, really beneficial for not only the listeners and the viewers, but for me too here. Tell me a little bit about how you got started in real estate. I know that you've done this a million times, but I'm going to have to ask you to do it one more time. Tell me how you got started in real estate and when, and a little bit about, how that all began.
Well, I got started a little under 8 years ago, and it was when my daughter Reese, she's now 9, but she was 1 year old, and I had Presley on the way. I just found out I was pregnant. I was working a full-time corporate job, very like 8 to 5 schedule, and it was an hour commute there and back. So I basically never saw my 1-year-old. I was dropping her off at daycare in the morning and picking her up at night and putting her to bed an hour later. And, figuring out, gosh, I'm going to have another baby soon. Like, I can't raise kids this way. They don't see their parents. Both their dad and I had, corporate jobs. So one of us had to figure something out, and I decided it was going to be me. I really wanted to be self-employed so I could just have some time freedom. It wasn't so much money motivated. It was more of, I just wanted to be there for my kids. And
I think a lot of moms are going to share that message.
Yeah.
I mean, money's it's like the end all be all, right? But sometimes it's not the motivation. Like the money is like, what keeps you doing it. But the motivation in the beginning and in most of the time may be the time. So I think that's really, really cool.
Yeah, it wasn't so much money. It was more that I wanted control of my time. I wanted time freedom. So I would have done really anything, but somebody had mentioned, you should flip houses. I, started doing it. You should try it out. So I started as a house flipper in Orange County. It was a lot easier at that time to flip houses here because we were coming out of the recession. So it was pretty easy to find discounted properties. We were still in a market environment where there was a lot of distress. So that's how I got my start. I started in my backyard. And, but as as the years progressed and as the market started getting hotter and hotter and it became more of a seller's market, that was when I realized that I needed to diversify because I live in a very high price, very populated area, Orange County, California.
Probably one of the highest priced in the country.
Yeah.
I mean, definitely top 10, I mean, what's the average house cost in your zip code?
The last time I checked, the average house prices just in Orange County was like about $650,000.
Wow.
And that's like not even getting you that nice of a house, honestly.
Right.
Because we have a lot of condos. So, I mean, we have condos that are that amount. Like so it's pretty up there. So in an area like this, when you're in a high price market, it's very difficult to convince a seller to take a discount on their home because they don't really need to. They could put the worst house in the worst condition on the block, on the market, discount it maybe $10,000, and boom, they'll have like 10 cash offers from foreign investors. So I had to diversify and get out of my local market. So I decided to try an out-of-state market and kind of do both at first for a while. And
when was this, Lauren?
That was about 4 years ago. I went virtual, you would say, around 2015, 2016. And my first virtual market was Nashville, Tennessee.
Love Nashville. Great city.
It's a great city. That's
great
why I
city.
picked it just because it was cool. I know.
Yeah, it's like, hey, if I get to ever go there for any reason to check on anything,
I was like,
boom.
Yeah, I just want to go there. So that's why I picked it.
Love that.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. I want to stop you for a quick second here. So you saw that the market was drying up with the motivation, it sounds like. That's kind of the way I'm looking at this big picture. Like the motivation dried up because there was more people buying than selling, and there wasn't as many foreclosures or short sales or all these other things, or even off-market deals. So you pivoted, which is great. In real estate, we gotta learn how to pivot, which is awesome. So you pivoted to a virtual market. But the question I have for you is, did you just say, I'm just tired of doing it here, it's not working, I'm going to go do it elsewhere and I'm going to do it in Nashville? Or were you like, I'm going to find somebody else that is doing it elsewhere in virtual and have them teach me? Like, did you pioneer this? I mean, virtual wholesaling, not, of course, that's been going on for a long time, but for yourself, you know what I'm saying? Did you get a coach or somebody to mentor you, or you just said, I'm going to just learn? I already know the marketing, so let's just do it elsewhere.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, I trailblazed it myself because there wasn't a lot of education at that time.
There wasn't. Yep.
This was like 4 years ago. So like virtual wholesale.
I worded that question so terrible, by the way.
It's all good. I knew what you meant. But yeah, there was, I mean, really, there weren't a lot of educators, that word virtual wholesaling was just, it was very new. And so, yeah, there wasn't a lot of education on the topic. So I just had to figure it out.
Confidence. I like it. So you went in and you said, all right, I can do it here. I can do it there. Just change the systems up a little bit. And then you ran with it. So are you still doing local, or are you basically all virtual at this point?
Pretty much all virtual. If a flip deal falls in my lap, I would take it. But yeah, I mean, I don't spend marketing dollars in my local market right now because it doesn't make any sense to. That doesn't mean though that I wouldn't go back. If there was more there's more distressed properties out there and more motivated sellers in my local area, I mean, I would happily go back to.
Of course. Yeah. It doesn't make sense necessarily. I had Scott Oots on earlier today. Are you familiar with Scott?
No.
Okay. So he's in your market, and
cool.
he does 50 to 70,000 a month on postcards alone.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, man, you got to do that much though, I guess, in that area to be able to get deals. Like that's a crazy amount of marketing. Right. So, wow, very cool. So went virtual, pioneered your way. Nashville was where you started. What happened next? Did you stay there? Did you go to other cities? Are you doing others now?
I moved from Nashville. So I really put no thought as to why or where I was going. I just thought Nashville seemed like a cool place to visit. And I was on a vacation there and I found that they were like building, there was all these new builds everywhere. I thought, oh, well, this looks really cool. Tons of new builds, right? So I just thought, well, this is cool. I want to get in on this. So actually my first virtual venture was not wholesaling. I was building homes. So I got into, so I got
crazy. I would have never guessed that.
Yeah, that's the one thing people.
So you were still marketing to motivated sellers. That didn't change. But
right.
When you found those, you were basically doing what?
I was doing a mix of flipping and developing. Those were my first deals that were virtual. And then I moved to just wholesaling and I was wholesaling to other developers. In Nashville, it was really common at that time to knock home, like you would get an older home, knock it down and build maybe two in its place, depending on where it was zoned. So that was the game there. So
you did some new construction then?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. That's crazy. How was it difficult to manage that? Or were you going there a lot?
No, you know what's funny is new construction is much easier than a flip. So the flips were very difficult to manage. And I still, like to this day, I'll say I don't really like flipping out of state. But the new builds were easy because there wasn't anything that like a contractor could make up. And so
if it wasn't done right, it's either right or wrong.
It was either right or wrong. It's like,
I like that. I thought about that.
Right. So it's like, and it came from nothing, air.
Yeah. Like you tore a wall down and knew that you didn't know there something was there. Like you built it.
There's no surprises.
That's actually pretty cool. How long were you doing that for? I'm really interested in that. That's really cool.
So I was in Nashville probably like 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. And then I decided, because Nashville got really hot, like Nashville became like a California, like again. And I go, gosh, I picked one California to go to another California. Started feeling that way. So I picked another market in Oklahoma. That was more of like your bread and butter rental market.
Yep.
And then I just went to a pure wholesaling model. And I've been doing that ever since.
Okay. So tell me about the wholesaling model that you have. It's virtual. So you don't live in, and it's multiple markets. You don't live in these markets. You're in multiple, right?
I am in multiple markets. And so we do all of our acquisitions here locally in California. I have my team here, and that's a philosophy that I have had to come up with, and I came up with it the hard way by trial and error, but I've decided that as much that you can have local, keep it local, and whatever you absolutely have to have in that market, you can have in that market. For the most part, I keep as much as I can local to me. So we do all the acquisitions here in-house, and we do the dispositions, in that market.
Love it. Very, very cool. So I buy from virtual wholesalers sometimes. So I get the process. We do a lot of wholesaling. All of mine, not all, most is done in my own city. We may or may not go to the property, every time.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's really, really cool how you just kind of did the pivot from your own market to going virtual, and you're in multiple. Have you found it difficult to do it in multiple markets versus maybe just one? Or is it just one of those things where you just kind of get to the point where it's like, it's the next step and it makes sense to do it? That's been one of, and the reason I asked, it's been one of my, not headaches, but I guess something that's holding me back from going into 2 or 3 markets at this point, is just because I don't necessarily want the extra work. My partners and I, we buy about 100 houses a year here in St. Louis where we live. We have about 65 rentals as of today. So we're gaining, rentals every couple of weeks. We usually have 5 to 10 flips going. So it keeps us busy.
Right.
On average, we wholesale 8 to 10 deals a month. Now our spreads here are average, 6, 8, 10 grand, something like that. Whereas in other markets, it's 15, 20. Orange County could be 70 grand, right? It's right. Be relative. But, I've been wanting to do a second or third market for been doing this full time 5 years. And I'm thinking, man, it's time, but at the same time, I don't necessarily want the extra work. So what was your take on it? Like, why did you go from one market to, and you don't even have to tell us those markets, but how many are you in? Let's start with that.
Right now I'm in, I say 2.5, and I've been playing around with the third market.
So you're in 3. Yeah, that's great.
So I just started a new market, and
that's exciting.
And I mean, to answer your question, it is every time you open up a new market, I would say it is like your baby. Like, you do have to put a lot of focus in it. So what could happen is sometimes it takes your focus off of the one that you're doing well, because you're now focusing on this new one.
Yeah.
So you do have to either hire out, like, so somebody's focusing on the one that's producing so you can focus on the new one. No matter what, you are going to be spread thin. It's not just like,
sure.
now that it's not like a plug and play, like, oh, now that I know how to do it virtually, I can just open up markets all over the place. It's not really like that. I mean, it does take a while to figure out pricing in the area, what's the main play in that area. Every area is so unique. So it does take a little bit to figure out. So I would always recommend, do one market at a time and give that market a solid shot. A lot of people go virtual and they give up after a few weeks. And
don't do that, guys.
Yeah, they're just like,
don't give up after a couple. It takes a couple of weeks to get the ball rolling.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. I mean, honestly, like, for me, I say wait, like, it will take you probably 6 months to really be
totally agree
in there, like established, making a net profit, because you might be sort of, I would say, breaking even for 6 months. So you do have to give it a solid shot, and you probably would need to focus like on one market at a time.
Love that. So it's just, okay. So the way I'm interpreting this is it's just like marketing, in the sense that all marketing works, right? No matter what you choose, bandit signs, letters, postcards, driving for dollars to cold call, cold text, door knocking, cold call, you name it. All of it works, but don't try to go do all of it at once, because you won't be good at any of them. Exactly. So find one source, and you teach this, I'm sure, to your students. Find one source, get really good at it, then go to the next one and outsource that one, or get someone on the team to do it. So it's very similar to that when it comes to markets then, right? So you just got to get good at that market, and either keep an eye on it with somebody on your team that's managing it, or maybe even have someone on the team help open that second or that third market. I absolutely love it. I love it. So Lauren, you have a coaching program. And again, I think a lot are going to resonate with you and your message, because you are a mom and you've shown people that it's possible. So let's talk a little bit about your coaching.
Awesome. Well, yeah, we recently launched it. I'm actually a coach for Wholesaling Inc. And that's been a fairly new thing. I think we launched about 3 weeks ago officially. So I'm very
Congratulations.
excited. Yeah, I feel very, very blessed and excited to be a part of that team. I am coaching it's a virtual investing program. We're calling it Virtual Investing Mastery. And it is all about virtual wholesaling. It goes into, well, not just virtual wholesaling, but virtual investing. So it is a course that is made for anyone who has any experience level. We have people who've never done a single deal, your newer investor, to experienced investors who either want to learn how to expand out of their current market, or even just closing deals on the phone because of this whole quarantine situation. It has made people have to, think, okay, how can I do deals over the phone virtually? Because I'm not really supposed to be meeting with sellers right now. So a lot of my clients have came to me just asking, how are you putting deals under contract over the phone, never seeing the properties, never meeting a seller? Like, how are you even doing that? So my coaching program addresses how to do that. So it's kind of we did not mean for it to come out during a pandemic where we're supposed to.
Oh, nobody ever does. That's just how it works, Lauren. You know how this business is.
Right, but it wasn't, that was never an avatar we were going for, as the person stuck in their home that's supposed to close
Yeah,
their.
but it fits well because,
But it
being
did.
virtual means that you can be in your home and do that. And when we're out of this, it also works. I mean, it's the thing that allows it to always work, right?
Yeah,
You can be anywhere in the world essentially too, and be wholesaling anywhere else in the world. I just saw
right.
in one of my masterminds the other day, this guy that lives in Australia was wholesaling over here in either Texas or in Florida, or something like that. He's never even stepped foot in the United States. And I'm just like, that's great. That's totally possible. Anybody can do
Absolutely.
that.
Yep. My tagline, I say, is live anywhere, invest where you want. And I came up with that because it's like, I live here in Southern California, a beautiful place to live. My office is in Newport Beach. I mean, amazing place right across the street from the ocean, but it's not a great place to invest.
Yeah.
So, I've had to go,
Totally
okay,
different.
I want to live here, but I want to invest where I want. So that's basically, what I'm, able to, I'm able to teach you how you can do that. I have team members, all my employees, they work from home primarily. And like, for example, one of my acquisitions guys, he doesn't have kids. He's got nothing holding him down. I said, why aren't you traveling more? Like, if you have the job where you can travel, I'm telling you, you need to take
You need
advantage
to.
of
Yeah.
And he went to Vietnam for a month, and it was like nothing was missed, like, because he had his internet
And he's
connection.
probably better because he's happier. He's having fun. So he's probably more excited and more enthusiastic whenever he was doing his actual job. It's awesome.
Absolutely. I mean, I tell you honestly, like, I was virtual before I went out of state. I lived in an area where traffic just to get to the next county over, or to get to these properties that I was flipping, it would take me 3 hours to get there and then get back. That's how bad traffic is in Southern California. So I used to basically refuse to go to seller meetings because I didn't want to waste my time unless I had a contract on the home. So I started putting, houses under contract over the phone pretty much when I first got started, because I was tired of driving in traffic all day.
I
So
like it.
that's where I started going, well, gosh, like, if I can do this over the phone, why couldn't I do this out of state? So that's really where like my virtual thing came from. And I was like, well, I'll just kind of figure it out. Right. So that's where it really started, honestly.
Very cool. Very, very cool. Guys, check out dpipodcast.com/Lauren. I got a link to her coaching, and there's a special incentive in there as well if you go to that page. So dpipodcast.com/Lauren. Lauren Hardy with This Mom Flips. I think has a very, very awesome, very cool message. She is crushing it in multiple markets around the country, and she has an awesome program to teach you guys how you can do it as well, but also to the new investor that just wants to learn, what wholesaling is and how marketing works.
Mm-hmm.
You can get that as well. I absolutely love it. You can check out Lauren on. She's a new host of the Wholesaling Inc. podcast, which is awesome. You guys are crushing it. It's like the #1 wholesaling podcast. So I'm super excited for you, and I'm happy and grateful to have you on my show today. Lauren, how can people reach you on social media if they were to have questions or whatnot?
The best way is following me on Instagram, because I'm very relevant on my Instagram. The handle is This Mom Flips. So if you guys want to follow me there, I post everything, where I'm at, what I'm doing, you can find me there.
Love it. This Mom Flips, Instagram, check it out. And again, get a special incentive over at dpipodcast.com/Lauren. That's LAUREN. Flipping real estate is easy. Lauren can teach you how to do it virtually. Guys, don't forget, in this business, we are trading convenience for a discount. It's very simple. You make your money when you buy, you get paid when you sell. Lauren, any departing words for our listeners and viewers today?
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't know. I want to say thank you for having me on. It was really great. I'm glad we got to finally meet each other.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And
for coming.
I look forward to having you on our podcast next time.
Thank you. I'm always looking forward to that as well. Guys, you heard it. Check out Lauren Hardy. This Mom Flips. She has got an awesome program. You don't want to miss it. Signing off.
Thanks for listening to the Discount Property Investor Podcast. If you enjoyed this episode, please like, share, and subscribe to help us reach a wider audience. To jumpstart your real estate investing career, please visit freewholesalecourse.com, the most complete free course on wholesaling real estate ever. We would also appreciate it if you left us a review on iTunes or Stitcher. Thank you in advance for your support, and remember, you make your money when you buy, and you get paid when you sell. Now let's go build some wealth.